What is up, my friends? I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend and you are very welcome along to today's Anfield Agenda transfer news roundup. We've gone through the media and found the best and latest stories surrounding our beloved football club. What I'm going to do over the next 8 to 10 minutes is give you guys the very latest, asking you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you enjoy the video, please do hit that like button, but most importantly, my friends, don't forget to hit subscribe. You know the drill with the tickets at this point. The link is in the description. I'm not going to give you the big ad read because I'm going to get straight into it. So first off, we're off to Turin for a little bit more around Federico Chiesa. So we do know that a couple of players have departed Juventus to go over to Aston Villa, one of them being a winger, which made the initial thoughts that Chiesa could leave a bit less likely, but it does seem Thiago Motta is still open to selling the player and moving him on. He is surplus to requirements, partly because of his contractual situation. He only has 1 year left on his Juventus deal, which means somebody could get themselves a bit of a bargain. You do have to, of course, balance up his injury record and some inconsistencies, but I think for the right price, Federico Chiesa could be a great addition to our or any Premier League club's attacking threat. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If I offered him right to you now for £30 million, would you take Federico Chiesa? I would. Let me know your thoughts. Now, I've got to say, I wouldn't take him as a replacement for anybody, but I would take him as an additional forward who can play across multiple positions. Next up, my friends, we are going to move over to Spain, where it looks like two players' futures could be inextricably linked. What do I mean by that? Well, NICO Williams, who we'll move on to talk about in more detail, and the battle between us and Chelsea for a signature, his future looks like it's tied up with Luis Diaz's future. Barcelona want Diaz almost at all costs at this point. NICO Williams is somebody who likes the idea of going to Barca. Barca like the idea of him, but they do want that experience in the dressing room over at the new camp, as we've been saying. I say the new camp, they're actually playing in the Olympic Stadium while the new camp's been renovated, but I think my point still stands. They want Lucho, and more stories are starting to come out about Lucho's meetings over with Barcelona representatives in America coming up, his agent, and all the other stories. But one thing we can't get away from here: if they want to sign Luis Diaz, they're going to have to come up with a number that Liverpool will accept. And it won't be the £50 million that's been doing the rounds in Barcelona and elsewhere in the Spanish media, because that's what Liverpool paid for him. And Liverpool are, of course, going to want to turn a profit. Where Liverpool's hand is strengthened in this negotiation compared to that of the likes of Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Mohamed Salah, is that Lucho, one, isn't a particularly high earner, and two, has 3 years remaining on his Liverpool deal. So Liverpool certainly have plenty of leverage in this negotiation. I think if Barca get to the number, we see Diaz leave, and I also think that we will make that push for NICO Williams. Now, on NICO Williams, I've got a little bit more news here, because as I mentioned at the start of that little segment, we aren't alone in our interest for Williams. So we've always known about Barcelona hovering around, but now, after missing out on Michael Olise, it seems like Todd Boehly and Chelsea have turned their attention to Bilbao's NICO Williams. This piece here said, Chelsea are now turning to NICO Williams. The Blues are working to find common ground with the Basque club and even considering paying the striker's release clause, estimated at €55 million. Again, the release clause shouldn't be a big problem for most Premier League clubs, but surely we have an advantage over Chelsea here, because one, we've been looking at the kid for longer. Two, surely we've got more financial muscle at this point than Chelsea, who are still amazingly spending money. I know they've sold Maatsen to Villa, but they've brought in a winger from Palmeiras. They're bringing in a couple of young fullbacks as well, and there's loads of more links. So I don't know at what point they actually have to face up to the whole profit and sustainability rules or FFP, but I certainly don't want us losing another player to Chelsea. We all remember last summer when Liverpool were left with a little bit of egg in our faces over the Caicedo and Lavia transfers. At this point in time, the last thing we need to do is suffer a transfer defeat at the hands of Chelsea. So I hope, if Liverpool do have their eyes set on Williams, that we don't wait to see what the future holds for Diaz, that we go and try and get it done and then figure Diaz out. I know that would probably weaken our hand in negotiations with Diaz over move to Barcelona, but still, it's about making sure that we build the squad and bring in the right players. And Nico Williams seems to be the player that Liverpool have earmarked. Kvaratskhelia, of course, is another one to keep an eye on. It doesn't look like Georgia will be progressing that far in the Euro, so he could be available for discussions after his holidays, which could be soon enough, so keep an eye on that one as well. But for me, I've always preferred the idea of Nico Williams over Kvaratskhelia, and at €55 million, I would be all over it. The wages, that will be an issue. He's on about €250,000 per week at the minute at Bilbao. What Liverpool can do there, you've heard me say before, I'm not sure. One story, though, that looks like it is starting to go in the right direction for the Reds is our pursuit of Bologna centre-back Riccardo Calafiori. Reports coming out of Bologna say that Liverpool have accelerated negotiations to sign Calafiori, and Bologna are looking to get about £21 million, which, let's be honest, is a snip if you're bringing in a starting centre-back. If this guy is as good as we believe he is, and as we've been made out to believe he is, and Juventus, well, they're kind of arguing with a wall at this point because Bologna don't really want to deal with them, surely we can nip in and get it done. We know that Richard Hughes has extensive contacts over in Italy, and he will have got, I'm sure, multiple reports on Calafiori. For me, if you could bring in a 22-year-old Italian international, experienced centre-back for 21 million quid, it smells like a bargain to me. And that would still leave us plenty of scope to act on other things in the transfer market as well. So this one feels like an absolute win-win if indeed we get it done. Now, we hear all the time about an offer that's supposed to be coming. Just cast your mind back to Ederson a week or two ago. Still waiting on that offer to apparently go into Atalanta. And this is kind of a similar vibe. But from my own understanding, the interest is very sincere in Calafiori from Liverpool. So keep an eye on this one over the coming days. I want to talk to you about Tyler Morton now for a second, because Paul Joyce has been saying that Tyler Morton is attracting serious interest from clubs right across Europe about a possible permanent transfer away from the club this summer. He's always been the really difficult one for me to get a read on, because he's done very, very well in every loan and does look like a very good player. But I've never known, is he Liverpool calibre, or is he just maybe a small step underneath? And do we have the time to find out? So he's 21 years of age now. He's obviously had some good loan experience at Hull previously as well. And if I remember correctly, I think he was in the Preston, if I remember correctly, before that as well. So for me, if we can find... No, it was Blackburn, wasn't it? Silly me, it was Blackburn Rovers. If we can find a deal that works for everybody, I think Tyler Morton, moving on, could free up some much needed funds, and again, would hopefully allow us to free up a squad position for that defensive midfielder. In my humble opinion, I would like Ederson, but, you know, we'll wait and see. Now, the last one that I have for you guys is his joke, quite frankly, so don't be expecting a serious topic here. Fichajes, who we know have their own embassy on our little island over off the coast of the Mediterranean, they say that Liverpool have made no secret of their desire to sign 33-year-old Stanislas Labotka from Napoli. Now, look, I'm sure Labotka is a good player. In fact, I know that Labotka is a good player. But what part of FSG and Michael Edwards screams paying €40 million for a 33-year-old? That's right, absolutely none. Our captain's 33. He's one of the best centre-backs in the world, and we're humming and hawing about a deal for him at the minute. So I don't believe for one second that Liverpool are about to go over and pay €40 million for a 33-year-old. Yeah, I'm going to say no on this one, ladies and gentlemen, but of course I leave it up to you guys to make your mind up. He had previously played at Bayern Munich. He left Bayern Munich in 2020 to go over to sign for Napoli, and that's kind of where he's at this moment in time. But for me, no truth to this one. So, just to recap, keep an eye on the Calafiori situation, because that looks like it could escalate over the coming days. Still playing a little bit of brinksmanship, it looks like, over Nico Williams and Luis Diaz. And apart from that, we're looking at maybe moving on the likes of Kelleher, Tyler Morton, to free up some funds as well to help the club in the transfer window. So this is pretty much where we're at, my friends. Now it is over to you. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. We'll be live tonight at 7:30. So if you're watching this Sunday before the late Euro games kick off, we're going to be covering Scotland against Hungary, because obviously somebody's going home and we've got 2 players involved in that game, 1 on each team. Andy Robertson, capital of Scotland, obviously Costa Simicas. Hell yeah, Costa Simicas is apparently the Hungarian captain now. Dominic Szoboszlai, of course, captain of Hungary, and somebody's going out and one of our boys is coming home, so we'll wait to see which one that's going to be, but we will be live from 7:30 this evening, and then tomorrow we'll be back as normal, 5 o'clock video, 8:30 live stream, and England, their last game is on Tuesday, so we're going to just do 2 videos on that day as well. So that's pretty much it from me, my friends. Don't forget, you can get your tickets to our last ever live shows in Cardiff and Liverpool in the description of this video. Tickets are priced at just £15, and I hope to see you guys back here tonight at 7:30, where we'll watch and hopefully enjoy Scotland against Hungary. Thanks for watching, and oh, by the way, Darwin gets his Copa America competition underway tonight as well, as Uruguay are playing later on, I think 2 AM UK and Irish time, so don't forget to check that one out if you want to see how he gets on. Thank you, my friends. Catch you soon. Bye bye.